Hello and welcome back to the M and BH Offline podcast, where we take a step back and discuss the best moments, future plans, and everything else from our favorite game, Minecraft. My name is BH, and this is my co-host Emchmu.
That's me.
Today we're going to be reflecting on our first ever episodes of Minecraft content. And before this episode, I sent Em a link to her very first episode. And I watched mine, and she watched hers, and we both went, ew, this sucks.
It's a bit rough.
Ew.
It's a little bit rough.
Yeah, so today we're kind of going to be looking at how we started content, what we learnt from doing content, and if we went back 2 years from now where we started making content, what would we say to ourselves, right? And so hopefully we can provide some ideas for future upcoming content creators. Be like, oh, that sounds like a cool idea. I want to do that. Or we're skipping the big learning phase, which is really fun. Yes. But
yep, absolutely.
First off, Em, I want you to kind of think back when you were watching your first episode. What was something that made you really cringe when you look back on your first episode?
Other than the episode, do you mean? Just the full...
Yeah, other than the whole thing.
Other than the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing that I could obviously notice, which to be fair, I did know it was a problem while I started, but I didn't know how to fix it. My audio, it's so silent. You can hear nothing. I swear. It's like I'm whispering to the audience. You have to turn that volume up so high just to try and hear anything. And I did know that was an issue right at the start. I just didn't know how to fix it, so that was fun. And then also there's black bars on the tops and bottoms of my screen.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that was a problem that persisted for the first I don't know, 4 or 5 months maybe of me making content. But yeah, the whole video as well, I'm so nervous in it. I'm saying and my voice is super shaky because I'm nervous that I'm talking to a recording, I guess. It felt like stage fright.
Genuinely figuring out the right dimensions for a video and a thumbnail, oh my god, it's the hardest thing ever. I would still, every time I go to make a thumbnail, I search up what the dimensions are, and then if I'm trying to center something in the middle of my thumbnail, I'm I should know the numbers by now. But every time I have to go find the middle of the thumbnail, I always have to search up my calculator and divide 1920 by 2.
That's why I use my little Canva. It's already got all of the numbers for me. I don't have to worry.
Yeah. Look, sometimes we just might like to make it hard for ourselves. I was looking back on my actual episode, and yours goes for about half an hour. Mine's a tenth of that, 3 minutes. And it had absolutely no substance to it at all. There was nothing to it. I spawned into my world. I said hi to some friends. I punched a tree, built a 3x3 house. And the video ends with me entering the nether. And I never actually picked up from there. I was supposed to transition to the next episode's the being in the nether. And the next episode, I think I'm blowing up my brother.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It happens.
So I think I was looking back, I was what was I thinking? Why do I only have 3 minutes? Why is there no substance to it? What is this video even about?
Wait, to be fair, that's mildly better than mine, because the only reason mine was half an hour is because I didn't know how to edit. So there's so many long pauses and long silences, and you can see me actually end the video. You can see me physically end the video because I didn't know how to cut it out. I didn't know how to do anything. It's a full raw footage file that was uploaded straight
up files 2019 13.mov.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Yeah. It's rough.
But though, if we think back on those episodes, and as much as it's ew, this is disgusting, this is so bad, this is the filth, I don't even want to think about what I'm looking at, it's where we started, and it's where it's without that we wouldn't be where we are today. And look, we're not professionals yet, But
Yes.
realistically, Minecraft content got us halfway across the world. So I think we're doing pretty well.
Yeah. And like that's the thing. Even though that episode in that first video was really rough, I'm not gonna delete it from my channel. I don't want to because I know it's horrible. I know it's bad, but looking back at that and seeing how much things I've changed and been able to do, like anytime I make a new video, if I like look back at my old very first video and my new video, just the complete difference,
Yeah.
of a person that I've become is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can see the growth. And that's so
Yeah.
inspiring to see. You can go back and you're like, oh, like back 2 years ago, back a year ago, I wouldn't have had a clue how to do this. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, this is just second nature to me. Like the stuff that I'm doing now is so complex, but it's so easy because I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's cool to see the contrast.
Yeah. So when we think about the difference, like second transition that we've got is what kind
Mhm.
of things are you proud of seeing? Like what changes have you seen in your content that you've like, you starting content, if that person was looking at you now, what would they be thinking? What would they be proud of?
Oh, I don't know. That's I know what I can tell for, like, how I've changed and, grown the differences.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't think if I, like, looked at my video now after I first edited or didn't edit, posted, just uploaded that raw footage file, I wouldn't know how what software I was using. I wouldn't know, how my mic was so good.
Hmm.
Uh, there's, like, being able to open a video editor program and know what all the things are has been something that's I kind of take for granted. I really didn't know how to use any video editing program, photo editing program for like
Mm-hmm.
thumbnails. No idea what any of those things meant. Even recording software, had no idea how to set up OBS for ages. And now like I know how to do a lot of that. Even Twitch as well, like setting up Twitch streams and overlays. I
Hmm.
had so much issues with that. But now I can do it like second nature. And
Yeah.
it's something that if I don't remember how I felt like 2 years ago when I was first trying it all, the I guess the change was so gradual and slow that, there's times I don't feel like I'm growing enough.
Hmm.
But looking back like 2 years ago, I didn't know how to use a blade tool in a video, like, I had no idea how to use any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm an expert. Not
Yeah.
really.
Like that's actually a really good point that I didn't even think about, is like genuinely being able to make content is such a big part of being a content creator that I reckon a lot of creators take for granted. Because
Mm,
yeah, like when you open up a video editing software, and people say this all the time, is like it's really like overwhelming. It's threatening to
yeah,
open up a video editing software and be like, all right, well, I'm going to make a video, because what's the first step? You need to make a timeline. You need to make sure your like frames are set to the right thing. You need to make sure it's in the right dimensions. Like everything like
yeah.
that is insane. And like I look back at my first episode and the music was blaring. It was so loud. I couldn't hear a thing. I couldn't hear myself talking. Now I know what it means to balance audio, and I know what it means to set my audio tracks right. And I've started exploring like actually EQing my audio so like, it sounds better than just what my raw input is. I think also you
Yeah.
can be proud of like I'm very proud of where my storytelling has gotten to, and I know that I didn't start content thinking that I enjoyed storytelling, and then I was like, "Wait, hang on. This is actually like what I like the most." And now I'm kind of thinking, well, I want to do more story stuff. I want to play a character. I want to play a proper character that has a backstory and has ideas and has different beliefs than my own, and extending myself to, play that character. Because I've played a lot of characters in my time, but a lot of them have a very core sense to myself, my own personality. Being able to really like push back on that, I think that's my next challenge. And it's going to be hard, I know, but it looks like it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. And that's perfect. Like, I know people use this a lot in the YouTube analytical sense, but like finding your niche, but it's not really in this terms of how to get the most views or anything. It's like the niche that makes you want to continue doing content. It's the part of the content, the part of the video that you love the most and how you can get the most out of that.
Yeah, it's totally a thing of like, you should be making content for yourself first.
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone that likes to watch it, but if you don't like watching your own content, then you're not doing the right thing. You should be, you know, sitting there and going like, "Oh, I'm actually really enjoying this. Like, this is fun. I did a really good job."
Exactly. And of course, you can still complain about editing videos all the time. That's fine. We all do it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like I haven't grown as much as, you know, in comparison to other people in 2 years, but I've still grown quite a lot, and I'm proud of that. But I'm also have to always keep in mind that, you know, not to compare myself with how much I grow or what I expect to reach at a certain time period.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I wanting to do things for, you know, why I started, and that's kind of why we look back at our first videos. We realize, you know, why did we start all the content creation? What did we hope to gain? You know, why choose a Minecraft video over anything else that we could do?
Yeah, totally. And it's so easy to compare yourself to like other creators. And we did a whole, I reckon our last episode that we did now, I don't know, probably like 6 months ago. It was a while ago. But we did a whole thing on like what the expectations are of like making content and how that changes and how that influences how you make content. But as we said, the core aspect of that is you should make content that you enjoy. And if you continue doing that, you're going to find success. And I think that's something that's really important, especially to me, is like, I want to enjoy making content. So when you're not enjoying it, that's just like, I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's why it's important to kind of look back at your first kind of steps, even though it's cringe and it's awful, but it does show how you've grown. And, you know, it also shows what you kind of like. Like, I know for my first video, I did a little bit of building stuff, and obviously I do a lot more of that now. That's part of the video that I enjoyed the most. Even when I first made the video, I liked that building aspect, you know, right at the start 2 years ago. And yeah, now I do that a lot more often, and it's just something that you can look back on and remember why you originally started to make your channel. It's not, especially if you're kind of getting lost in the realms of analyticalness, awfulness. You know, at the end of the day, it's you need to make something that you want to do. You don't want to spend a whole bunch of time like reaching for something that you may never grasp.
Absolutely.
Not to sound pessimistic, but yeah.
No, that's totally right though. Like, you want to, as we said, like make stuff that you enjoy making, and that way you're gonna stay motivated. You're gonna keep doing stuff. And also, I think, I don't know how you work with this, but challenging yourself. And I think challenging yourself is such a huge part of content creation, and like being open to doing new things, which I think we've both kind of stepped into recently. Like, you've been working a lot on running your own like server and running your own short-term SMP. And I've kind of stepped into making single player content, and that has, like, to myself, has been a huge step into the unknown, and like so uneasy going into it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm just sitting there. I'm sitting in my world going like, what do I do? Like, I'm so used to bouncing off of other people. How do I myself make a video that's just me? Which is really tricky.
Yeah. I will say, with that challenging yourself kind of thing, I have a lot of stuff to say on that, so that might be good for another future episode. So look forward to that. You know, maintaining different motivations and stuff like that for content. Challenging yourself is a very important part of that, so you don't get too bored, or you don't get too. You can get comfortable in a style of content you're making, but when you get too comfortable, it turns into more of a bubble and more of a fear, and it's very hard to break out of that.
Yeah, I've definitely felt that way too many times where I get too comfortable with how I'm editing content, what I'm doing, and then I'm just sitting there going like, well, I'm actually not enjoying this anymore because I'm not learning. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm like, I know that I get into this cycle of like learning a new strategy, learning a new like way of editing, and then I do it a lot, and then I go, I'm not enjoying this because I'm not doing anything new. And so then I have
Yeah.
to be like, oh, I'm actually gonna go and figure something out and do something new. So it's hard, that's for sure, but it's definitely worth it.
And I know for a lot of those things in, what do you call it, like 2 years time from now, I expect to still be making content, but like how we look back at our first videos, we're probably gonna look back at us right now and go, "Ooh,
Yeah,
what have we done here?"
absolutely.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god. Totally. I
Anyway.
totally get that. Like I'm planning a bunch of, role play stuff and I'm thinking, I know as soon as I try and do this, I'm going to watch it back and I'm going to go, whoa, that was a hard watch. That was a hard watch. Okay.
Yeah.
But then like it's just skills that you learn and it's practice, and being able to be comfortable with being uncomfortable is such a valuable skill to have. And
Yeah.
that's what I definitely admire with looking at other content creators, is seeing who's the person that can step out of the comfort zone and do something and change something. And that's what's been really fun to see.
Yeah, and I think as well it's what, like, everything, yeah, if you feel cringe at something that you did way back when, if you look at it in like a negative way, like, oh, what I did back then was so cringe, oh, gross. Or you can look at it in like more of a positive way of, oh, I've grown so much that now that's awful. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it because I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't try.
Yeah. It's
But
really
yeah,
just like, if you cringe at your old videos, good,
you've
because
done
you've
well.
grown. Yeah.
You learned.
100%. So when we look at like how we made content and what we did with content, let's say you got a little time machine and you got to go back to like, you making your first episode and sitting there and sitting at your editing software and going, or not editing software, and you're sitting at your YouTube homepage just ready to post your raw clip.
Yep.
And you
My
go,
role, but
what would you give? What advice would you give to that person? And this is kind of more targeting towards people that might be listening to this and going, well, I want to start making content. What strategies, what steps can I do to make that introduction, that new step, or even people that are growing and finding new ways to make content? What can they do? What strategies
yeah.
have you found?
Well, to be honest, for a lot of editing or background kind of processes, even just like writing videos, making video ideas, a lot of that it's really hard to give a strategy or give tips because you're not going to know until you just keep doing it. It takes a lot of time to learn those skills, and it's hard to explain it in a way that would make sense to everyone.
Yeah.
However, the one thing that I will say, just don't be nervous. I know it's so nerve-wracking. You know, when I first made my video, even the first, I think, year and a bit, I was always like super anxious when I started my recordings. Like I was about to give a class presentation, about to speak in front of a big audience. And it wasn't, it was just me in my room.
Yeah.
And even listening to my voice back, I would hate it. But there's no reason to, because I mean, even if you have one person view, one person comment, it means that they enjoyed watching it or they wanted to. They stuck around for it. And yeah, there's no reason to be nervous and no reason to be, I don't know, unsure of what you're doing. If you've decided that like making a Minecraft video, for example, is something you really want to do and you're excited to do it, but when you press that record button, it all of a sudden, you clam up, you get super nervous. It's completely normal, but try and just take a deep breath and take a step back, a look at yourself, and you're doing it for yourself. There's no reason to feel badly about it. And the more nervous and more anxious you kind of are with your recording, it's a bit like people can tell that you're a little a little closed off. And I know I had that big problem with most of my videos.
Mhm.
Anyway, now I just don't care. I love my videos, of course, but when I'm recording it, I just don't care how I sound. I don't care,
Mm.
like, not the way of, like, I don't care about my viewers, but people watching my content, but I don't wanna be an anxious, nervous wreck. I'm just gonna speak what I want,
Yeah.
speak how I want.
Yeah. And that's actually so valuable as well, because I think people
Mm,
really like seeing people. They want to see people's not perfect side. They don't want to see someone that is absolutely perfect all the time. They don't say they don't stop, they don't rethink their sentences. Like, being perfect isn't typically what people, or at least what I found, isn't what people want.
yeah,
They want to feel close and they want to feel connected. They want to feel human with another person, and being able to be vulnerable and being like, oh, uh, actually, I'm thinking of doing this. Or, like, if you make a mistake, I will very regularly in my videos be like, so I kind of cooked this whole thing. We're going to do it
it's
again.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have any strategies you could give your wisdom to anyone watching that may want to make some content in the future?
Yeah, I think we're like, what you said was so perfect, especially for people beginning content creation, like being able to just do it. Just don't be scared to post what you're thinking. Be yourself. Be be original
Yeah.
and be yourself and do the things
You
you
don't
like doing. You don't have to copy
you don't need
someone else.
to
That's
know
so
everything
yeah, it's
as
so
well.
valuable for someone starting out content creation. I guess my
Mhm.
kind of tips is probably a little bit more targeted towards people that have already started content creation and like kind of figuring
Yeah.
it out, is don't be perfect.
Yeah.
Being a perfectionist in making content, I think, is one of the worst things you can do. And yes, you can be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I want this build to look amazing. I want this editing sequence to just flow 100% and like no errors, no nothing. I don't want to have any ums or ahs in my sentences at all." It does not matter. People aren't going to pick up on a single R or a single or a mistake, or they're not going to pick up on, your transition wasn't perfect. Like, it might have been a little bit choppy. They're not going to pick up on a frame or two that doesn't look perfect. They're simply just there to watch your video. They're not there to critique and analyze it. They're just
Yeah.
there to just enjoy it. And I've definitely found in the past, when I'm getting way too like perfectionist about my own work, is when I get stuck, because you're like, I need this to be perfect. I need it to just look amazing. I want it to look incredible. I want it to look professional. And that loop of perfectionism is really dangerous, because you just get stuck being like, I'm not doing what I want to do. I'm not the person that I want to be. It's not perfect.
Yeah, and that kinda as well goes back to don't care too much.
Mm,
Like, obviously make things you want to and care about your work, but don't don't care too much. Like, it's not care as much as it makes you happy to do so.
mm.
Anything beyond that is unhelpful.
Yeah, like I'll regularly spend like half an hour, 40 minutes working on like, a 2-second clip. That's not because I want to be perfect. That's just because I like spending the most
Yeah.
insane time making this thing look way too detailed, which in reality I shouldn't do, because it'd just be easier to do it simple. But like, I just enjoy
Mhm.
that process, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you're stuck trying to be perfect, like whether it's in the recording phase, whether it's in the editing phase, we are trying to make the video look perfect, or making thumbnails that like are hyper like targeted to your audience and perfect. I think it takes my joy out of it, but
Yeah.
I think it's something that you can live without being perfect, I think.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I guess the main message, it kinda goes with both of us, like, y do content however you'd like, as long as you're enjoying it.
Mm,
If there's a part of the process that you really dislike and you're not, you're overanalyzing how many times you breathe in a single a single 2-minute clip, or you're really angry at yourself for saying ums or ahs too
mm,
many times, that's not, helping. It's not giving you any joy in content creation. And at the end of the day, like, you should be making content to have some kind of happiness, give you some gratification or satisfaction. And over analyzing certain things that make you unhappy with content is not going to help.
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of tips do you think you'd have, or like very, very specific like skills do you think you'd give to someone that is like, more partway through their content journey?
Okay. Specific tips?
I would say my biggest tip is, for any of those learning DaVinci Resolve, is learn the Fusion page, because the Fusion page is genuinely the greatest thing I've ever stumbled across. And once you learn the basics of what masking is, what keying is, and what like different ways to like, translate your images around, what like masks and merges are, oh my goodness, it is so good. Like, oh, I love the Fusion page so much. It is like in the deepest part of my heart. I love it because it feels like I can do everything that I ever wanted in there, as long as I just sit there and think about how I want to figure it out. And yes, I will admit, most of the time, you're never going to see that work in my videos because it's usually like the tiniest detail. But oh my goodness, I love it. And it makes the like having those skills to make in-depth content is so fun, because it just, instead of, having basic skills where you're like, oh, I know how to like edit and cut and like put some music in there and like, maybe add a fade and stuff. It gives you so much more creative liberty to be like, I want to add like a fade in with a noise mask so that it looks like it burns in. Like, that's what I find is so fun, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Well, as someone who doesn't use DaVinci Resolve, and I'm not super well versed in the editing part, it's not really something I tend to focus a whole ton on, at least, for me specifically. But I mean, the Fusion page sounds great. I don't think I'd be able to use it at least for another 2 years. So we'll check back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess what I would have a tip for specific, because I got time to think about it now. Would be more a social aspect. Just reach out to people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're bigger than you, they're smaller. Like, just reach out to someone. If you enjoy their content, let them know. Reach out and say, you want to do a collab. Have something planned, though, if you do reach out for a collab.
Yeah,
that is important.
Big hit.
Yeah. Have something decent planned and, maybe tested, preferably tested, before reaching out to someone, because otherwise, could have some awkward moments. But yeah, I found that, you can get into, again, a bubble where you don't reach out to anyone, even after, like, I had one person be quite rude the first time I reached out and decline, which wasn't a great start, and it did put me in a bit of a bubble where I wasn't able to reach out to any creators, and I felt, too nervous because of my past experiences.
Yeah.
But after getting out of that bubble, like, reaching out to creators has been so good. You make so many friends and you have such good times. Like, if there's someone's video that you super, enjoy, you've made some videos and you have a good idea, like, ask them. Worst they could say is no.
Yeah.
And if they say anything worse than that, then, they're probably not someone you want to collaborate with anyway then. So yeah, just reach out to people, reach out to other creators. A lot of creators, at least in my experience, are kind of in that same bubble of being too scared to reach out to other people. So a lot of them are very appreciative when they get, reached out for a collaboration or for an event. They're pretty excited to be invited. But again, make sure you have something well planned. If you reach out, oi, let's do let's do an SMP together, or let's do a survival together. Like you need to have something pretty solid in place.
Yeah, it is super important to just be like,
yeah,
you know, don't just go reach out to everyone, but have very specific people you want to say hi to and have something planned, like you said. And especially being on the other side of that is like, oh, okay, sweet. You've got something planned. I'll consider it.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, again, there's people that will say no, people that will be rude. It's inevitable. But I guess the people you don't really want to collaborate with after you've, if someone's been rude to me, at least I don't want to hang out with them afterwards, even if I was the one that reached out to them in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that about sums up our episode for today. I
reckon
had a really good in-depth conversation about where we started with our content, like what was our first steps in, what was our baby steps in making content, what we learned from that, and like the skills that we really, really valued with our like content process. And like you're gonna find your own new ones, but those are some really, good ways to start exploring making content. But thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the M and BH Offline podcast. I am BH, and this is
Emchmu, me.
And we'll catch you all in the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Bye.